Alright, this is actually an HP. I love HP products. An HP ink cartridge and for a printer. And let me tell you what, uh, if you really want to clean it and really solve the problem, you really got to do it right. I use a lot of permanent inks because I don't like to make a business card that if you hand it out in the rain, the ink just starts rolling off it, erases a phone number, and that's money. That's money if they can't call your number. You lose a lot of money that way. If you want to open these up, you can open it up with a knife or have to saw it off. You could crack it or break it, but you really need the proper cleaners. There's a big sponge inside there. But because I use a lot of permanent type inks, and they tend to dry and real rapidly, sometimes these get clogged if you don't use the printer a lot, and even after a month. So, and it's pennies to refill these. It's a lot cheaper. Like this particular cartridge is $21 at Walmart. Yeah, you can order them online from the guys who rebuild them and all that, but 80% of the time they don't work when I get them. The printers can't read the chips or whatever for some reason, and it's just a big waste of money. Yeah, sometimes these guys will take them back, but oh, what a nightmare. Even when they come from the factory, they don't fill them all the way. So I'll take a fresh brand new cartridge and add more ink to it before I even use it, so I can make sure I've got enough printability. If you're doing portraiture, you've got to have a ton of ink. If you're doing multiple copies of something, you really need a ton of ink. But anyway, this particular cartridge I just got done cleaning, and I have to let it sit for a little bit. And you don't want to rub this because you get it clogged up. There's little tiny little holes in there, and they get clogged up real easy. You see this white around the edge? I got that real clean, and that really helps for that to print properly. And that's usually your number one problem, is it's clogged. You don't want to be wiping it with a Kleenex or anything like that. Paper towel's good, or a cloth. And see that it's really got ink, so it's working great. So just tap it on there. You don't push it hard. You have to be real careful with this. And you want to clean these real good. And make sure there's no ink here. Check inside your printer. And make sure you don't have like ink splashed all over the contacts. You can unplug the printer. I usually take a spray bottle with alcohol and spray all those contacts off, and then let it dry, or try to dry it gently, but you've got to unplug it because you'll electrocute it. You don't want to run it wet, but I use alcohol for that. But I'm going to show you a real nice way to do this. It can take 15 or 20 minutes to really get it super clean, but you don't want to put pressure on it because it'll ruin this print head. But this one's settling, so I just got done doing this one, so it's real clear. This one's a color. And this, of course, is a brand new cartridge that dried up in like 3 weeks. It never really worked quite right when I got it. And see, that's not very white in there. All you need is like 2 or 3, Q-tip things. They're really cheap. You go to Dollar Tree, you get like 100 of them in a package. And what I'll do is, I like purple cleaner. You can get a whole gallon of it, is the cheapest way to go. At dollar store, sometimes at Walmart, sometimes at auto parts houses. But really, the cheapest place to get it is probably Walmart. My next favorite place is Dollar General. And you just gently wipe this across. And if you don't want to get dirty, because you can bleach your hands after. If you don't want to get dirty, you just wear gloves. But I like to use this and water. You don't want to push on it. You just want to go across, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you can get some water out of here. See, it's not clean yet, because that should be real bright in there in between that yellow and the silver. I'll dip it in some hot water here. See, it's still pretty dirty. So I'm going to continue on. Spray some of that. And it takes 15-20 minutes to get it cleaned up pretty good. But you just want to do it gently. Take your time, don't push on it. That way you can get little tiny microns of dust or ink out of there. So it'll run right. I think my color gets clogged more often than my black, maybe because I don't use it as much. But I'm a real printer freak. I'm always got some things I've got to print out. Or I might be doing business cards or flyers for somebody. I do a lot of donation work for charity stuff, churches and things too. So I use a lot of ink and a lot of printer. Matter of fact, my most reliable printers are my really, really old printers. New printers don't usually store as much ink in the cartridges. I get aggravated with them. I've got a really, really old printer that's huge. And it has giant cartridges, about 6 times the size of this. And they're wonderful. If you're running a lot of copies, you won't run out of ink real soon. But you just want to go real gentle. I'll dip this for a minute and see what it's looking like. Nope, it's not bright yet. That one's really googed up. Got some more purple on here. You can go all around this too. Get your connects. Get this real bright and shiny. Especially right here. This will really screwball the printer up if you don't get this real clean. Don't push on it. You just want to run this across. And it'll get it really nice and clean. But you just take your time. This is starting to tidy up pretty darn good. Turn it this way. That's just hot water and that other thing. Turn it this way. And yes, that ink might start running out the other side. I've filled this one a couple times and it's brand new and it just doesn't like to run. So, this is usually the reason why the darn thing doesn't work. You don't really have to go inside it and fool around. You really just need to get these nozzles clean. Save yourself a ton of money. You can order ink online. I have like 1 quart bottles. I go through so much of it, but I have 2 different kinds of ink. I've got permanent. That's like a permanent waterproof ink, and then I've got like a regular water soluble. And sometimes I'll mix the 2 together so that permanent ink doesn't dry as quickly. But I really like the permanent ink because it just doesn't go away when you make business cards. I had a friend of mine that was doing them on the side for people, and man, that thing gets in the rain, it just erases. What junk. And it doesn't cost that much more to get the proper ink. Good paper's nice too, but the proper ink is serious biz. Now, if you don't use your printer very much and you're just a home person, you can use that cheap water ink because it's probably not going to affect you too much. I print off receipts to orders or bills, payments, things. I don't like to do a lot of stuff online, but sometimes I have to. If you think you've got your cotton too loose, and just switch sides or get a new Q-tip. Don't push on it, just run this across. And it'll take, 15-20 minutes to get it right. Switch sides here. Just keep cleaning on it and cleaning on it. This one's really, really dirty. I can see it. I have pretty good eyesight here, so I can see pretty good. But especially if you're doing portraiture, you really want these print heads clean. And that way you can get some really good prints. Let me run some purple. I think it's like $5 for a spray bottle of it. But if you buy the whole gallon jobber, I think it's like $6.99 or something like that. It's really cheap. And you use it for a lot of things. I use it in my cars, my houses, everything. You see, it's really tidying that up. Go back over here and check this. Pollen's so bad this week. Ugh. I can barely breathe. And this is the best way to do it. Don't dance around with all that other stuff. I've tried boiling these things. I've tried doing a lot of stuff. But this is the way to fly. Get it done. Get it over with. Do it right. And then that way, you run it through your machine and see how it's running. Make sure they're seriously dry before you put them in the machine, turn on the machine. Because it'll electrocute your printer. They've got to be really dried up. Sometimes I'll spray them with alcohol and let them air dry for a while so that alcohol will dissipate a lot of that water. This one's seriously cloggy. It's starting to clean up a little bit now. And I think this one was new from a rebuilder. The other one was a true HP that I got at Walmart for $22 black. This is a color, and this one's just never worked. Pitiful. You can clean this whole thing, but the thing you were looking at is this little tiny crease by the yellow. That's the thing we're looking for. See, and I can see the holes cleaning up. Right from here. This side's seriously clogged. Okay. That looks really whole lot better. If it doesn't work, do it again. But just make sure these are real dry before you turn the printer on, because it will electrocute the board if it's wet. It'll really mess it up. I'm really concentrating on that little tiny outer edge of that silver strip. That's where the little nozzle holes are. Takes no pressure at all. When you get jacking with these and put pressure on them, it messes them up. The only time you want to do slight pressure is when you're testing it. And you have to tap it. You don't rub it across a paper or a Kleenex, especially Kleenex, or a paper towel, because it just gathers more little tiny dust particles from those products and clogs it up all over again. You just want to tap it. And you can do it often. If it's acting up, take it out and do it. Because this is the best cleaning procedure you'll ever do. All that other stuff's a big waste of time. Whoever it was that shipped me this one just sent it really dirty, because I cannot believe how funky this is. What a ripoff. And it's so sorry when the damn thing only prints like red or yellow or something and it's full. And the more you fill it, doesn't do any good if it won't come out the bottom end. Or it just starts running out all over. It's because it's clogged. Like I say, it's just pennies to fill these. Fill them all day long. Now, once you fill them, I will tell you one thing with these HPs. It takes about a day for that ink to settle and start printing again. I don't know why. It just does. It'll never print right till tomorrow. So don't get aggravated. Let it sit overnight. Man, that's so much cleaner. It's not perfect. I'm sure it'll have to be done again, but I'm going to ride with that. And then let me show you where we go there. Let it sit on its butt right here. Gently. Don't bang it. We'll throw that Q-tip away. Move my hands out a little bit. Dry this off a little. Tap it. This you can rub because it has no contacts or anything. This part you can rub. And just touch this, touch this, touch this. Because I was holding it upside down, it's going to be matte. Sometimes it comes leaking out this side. I've already filled this one before. Usually I put these on this side and just use some Scotch tape. But just tap it. Don't clog those up again. You can see some of the blues starting to run again. Yay. They use three colors, three basic colors to mix color. Then take some paper towel These are no special thing. These are cheapy paper towels. And you take this and hold your finger under there. Okay, and see what it's doing. We're already getting some yellow. Gravity will work. And eventually we're going to get some colors. There's some blue and yellow. Once it settles back in. And we'll just let it sit here and rest for a while. Alright? We'll talk to you later. I hope that helps you because it'll save you so much money and so much time. And you'll get so much better printing, especially if you're doing it for, say, a living. Gotta have those working. Alright? And you can do this to a cartridge you haven't used in 5 years. Some cartridges you found. A cartridge that's 1 week old. A month old. And remember, if you don't print a lot, they do dry up. And also, depending on the type of inks you use, they're going to dry faster. The permanent inks, they will dry faster. So you've got to unclog them. If it doesn't work the first time, try it again the second time. Talk to you later. Hope you enjoy. Save that money. Love ya.